Sparty's back. Today, I'm going to be discussing Evolution Championship Series 2023. We've got Marvel as the fourth biggest game at the event. It's absolutely enormous. The numbers are astronomical. 1,352 entrants for Marvel. It's the biggest Marvel bracket in history. It's absolutely insane. So not only am I going to get to go to my very first EVO, my very first US major, which is a big enough deal in and of itself, but it's also the biggest Marvel bracket there's ever been. It just absolutely astounds me that this has happened in 2023. 12 full years since the game's release. Can you imagine thinking that this was going to be the case 12 years ago? Ridiculous. Has this ever happened for any other game before? Not in my memory, but maybe there has been some historian maybe knows about something else that's been going on, but this is just absolutely bonkers. The fourth biggest game at EVO. Ridiculous. 1,352 entrants, and of those I counted over 100 killers easily. It's about 10% of the bracket is made up of absolute monsters. It's gonna be insane. No pool is free to get out of. There are so many pools, and every single one has got 2 killers in it. Absolutely nuts. Players will pretty much, you think that player could make top 38, sorry, top 32 or top 48. That player could make top 6. That player's shoe in for grand finals. There's so many players who have got so much potential. It's mind-boggling to think about. And top 6 makes the main stage to get to battle it out for $25,000. 1,352 entrants, $10 per entrance. That's $13,520 total. So EVO have matched that nearly with 12k of their own money to bring that up to $25,000 guaranteed pot. Absolutely bonkers, the money being played for in this game, in this year. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited for the level of play, for the players of old who love the game, for the players of old who've fallen out of love with the game, but maybe fall in love with, $10,000 maybe coming their way. Maybe they're going to put the practice in. It's ridiculous to see. We're about to see some good ass Marvel with 1,352 players. It's absolutely insane. That's a lot of pools, isn't it? 64 pools total. 64 pools. It's been a long time since I've been in a bracket with 64 players. There are 64 pools. It's absolutely nuts. If you win all of your matches and stay on the winner's side the entirety of the tournament, if you win 9 matches in a row, 9 of them against the top players in the world, you make top 6 in the winner's side. To win the overall tournament, you need 12 wins in a row. If you don't want to drop into losers, like, if you're thinking like a Chris Gio or a Jabril or a Liberal Terminator or whoever else, maybe some Justin Wong, if they win 12 times in a row, you take first place. Grand prize. If you fall into the loser's side, first round, if you lose your first match, that's 11 wins that you need to make just to get to top 48. 17 wins to top 16. It's so important that you win your matches. If you go into losers, you are drowning. You are going to have to swim those deep waters. Nearly twice as many matches to get to top 6. And if you want to win the whole thing overall, if you go losers first round, 21 wins you've got to make first place. 21. That's absolutely insane. It's going to be the Marvel of our dreams at the highest possible level. And we've got this new school versus the old era, the gods, happening at Marvel. There's going to be this lovely blend, this eclectic mix of the best players we've ever seen at the game coming up against the wave of players who have moved into what we're going to call this deity status nearly in this newest era of Marvel. Do the old gods measure up to the new? It's absolutely insane. But not only that, obviously we talk a lot about Marvel and we think Marvel is a US game. It's predominantly been a US game. There have been blips where there's been, say, Japanese players making waves and KBR making waves, winning EVO and taking majors and beating some of the best players in the world. You've had these top players from all over the world, and we've got so many of the top players from all over the world, but not only Japan. Of course, there's a lot of EU representation, mostly from the UK, but we've also got some representation from different countries, including Austria, from our friend Laugh. And it's all going to be streamed. I think the pools are all going to be streamed twitch.tv/EVO6. The main stage stuff that we get is going to be just /EVO, no number on the end of it, but I think it's going to be /EVO. You can check that on evo.gg. I think there's a tournament schedule on there you can see. So make sure you catch it all. I believe it was originally planned to do everything on Saturday, and it was going to be round 1 pools in the morning, round 2 pools afternoon, and then in the evening they were going to get all the way down top 48 down to top 6 in the evening, and then it was all going to be run Sunday morning for the top 6. However, I think they've now planned, and I think this was confirmed, Friday PM, so don't miss it. In the evening or the afternoon of Friday PM, I think they're going to do, I think it's just round 1 pools. I don't think it'll be round 1 pools and round 2 pools. I think they're going to try and get some or all of round 1 pools done, which is a ridiculous amount of pools. 64 pools, taking it down to, I'm not sure how many would be left after that moving into round 2, but you're going to be eliminating probably half of the bracket, basically 650 odd players. On the Sunday morning we have the finals, so we are top 6 first thing in the morning. Do not miss it. I'm going to be myself in that Mandalay Bay one way or the other. I'll be watching it live, maybe participating. We'll see who's going to be taking down Sparty. But we've got players like Amongst Shadows, just to give you a feel for who's coming. PR Balrog, Frankie G, Remora. Are you getting the feel for the strength of the players that we've got at EVO this year? Mini Boss, Spiral, Milky, Ronan Healy, Remy Martin, Winrich, I Heart Justice, Ray, Feed Your Greed, Clockwork, RF, Fizzy Cups, Flux, Cloud 805, Sick Abyss, Ram Bam, Jason Game Dev, Killer Kai, Escalante, GC Yoshi, Sacktap, Abigain, Derek's Pride, Pizzy, Aeonian, No Life, Marlin Pie, Apology Man, Living Legend, Coach Steve. Look at these names I'm bringing up here. It's absolutely ridiculous. It just keeps going. So we get to the last few: KBR, Kyle P, Liberal, Terminator, Chris G, Jabril. There's a lot of players going to this EVO. It's absolutely insane. These are the ones I can just squeeze onto the screen without it being too ridiculous. This took me ages to stick up on here. It's absolutely insane. Apologies to anybody I've missed off here. There are many more people I've got on my list who I could have chucked up on here, but I wanted to chuck up a good selection. It's absolutely insane that I get to be amongst this caliber of level of Marvel player. I'm so excited, and I hope you are too. So the pools are out. If you want to go and check them out, please do. Start.gg/tournament/EVO-2023. Go check out the Marvel pools. There's 2 killers in every pool minimum. Some pools are worse than that. 4 get out from round 1 pools. So of those round 1 pools, 4 players are going to get out. That's 2 in winners and 2 in losers. And once you get to round 2, you are absolutely having to face a killer. If you haven't already, you are going to be facing a killer once you get to round 2. And of round 2, 6 get out of there. That's 2 in winners again, and 4 people in losers getting out of round 2 of those pools. Anyone getting out of that stage is pretty much the creme de la creme. Once we are beyond this, once you get those people coming out in the winner's side of each of those round 2 pools and the loser's side, those people are the best Marvel has to offer. We are talking about the 0.1 of a 0.1. It's a ridiculously small percentage of people, and maybe even a smaller percentage than that. That wasn't the best math, I don't think, but you know what I'm talking about. These are the top players in the world. Now, that's not to say that things are all perfectly seeded and all perfectly worked out. I think there's been a lot of controversy. I say a lot of controversy. There's been some tweets. I think a lot of people were feeling it, doing some little private discussions, and then Noel Brown just tweeted out, "Yo, these seeds are shit," and a bunch of players jumped on. You saw some people like Liberal Terminator, like Angelic, like talking about the placement of Ryan LV and a few other people. I think overall the seeding's pretty generally good. It will separate out people from different regions. It will separate out people who are of relative skill level. No one's been thrown so drastically out that they're going to have, it's not like we're going to see Frankie G versus Liberal Terminator in the first round and it'd be a complete unfair pool for them. I think everybody's spread out amongst those 64 pools. I think people are just starting to get a little bit antsy about the fact that, well, hang on, how is Ryan LV seeded, I think, second in the entire tournament. So Ryan LV seeded second, I think, beneath Jabril. Jabril is first. Ryan LV is second out of the entire tournament. And Ryan LV, while he is brilliant player, has not played the game in the last 2 years, I don't think. I think Twitch Rivals was the last thing that he played in and won. And yes, he did win that. It was an invitational 2 years ago. I think before that, I don't remember the last time that Ryan LV played. He is, however, the most recent official Marvel champion. So the last time this game was officially played at EVO was 2017. Yeah, that was it, 2017. And he won that. Was it Chris G beating the finals? I think it was Chris G beating the finals. And I suppose if we're talking about official EVO results for the very next EVO where Marvel is an official game, you've got to place him reasonably high. And he is, obviously, I'd say he's a player of caliber that, you know, you can fairly put him as second. But if we're looking at taking recent results into consideration, he just hasn't been there. Where does he fall? We don't know where his skill level is, if he's in practice or not. But it'll be exciting to find out. I think personally, my hunch is that there will be no drop off for Ryan Elvey. I think there'll be some rust, but the skill and the knowledge and the fundamentals will be there for him. He is cold, ice cold. Another player, though, who potentially might need to be adjusted here, Joel Kevin, is currently seeded out of 1,052 players. I think his seed is 1,346. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe he just signed up late, but his seed is not quite right there. So something's going to be needed to be done about Joel Kevin, unless he just gets placed in a pool that's, you know, automatically fine for him anyway. He might not be in a bad position in the pool he's in. Who knows? But whatever the case, he should, obviously, Joel Kevin's top 15 seed. He's placed extremely well across major tournaments for years. He's not been as active lately, maybe, but definitely needs to be seeded correctly. He's fantastic, great player. Now, there's also this Japanese MODOK who won Japan's EVO. Is that Maya? What is it? Is it MODOK Dante Doom or MODOK Doom Dante? Really good player. Beat RF for EVO Japan. And again, if we're talking about the relative importance of seeding, EVO's own events probably hold a lot of weight in terms of what you're going to do with the seeding. People may be complaining that he's placing above RF, he's placing above, he's being seeded above RF, being seeded above Zulor. Those players obviously deserve very high seeding, very good players, and have consistently shown that they are strong international talent. But Maya's position he's placed extremely high. He's sort of like, he has a seed that's like top 15, top 10 above RF, who's more like seed 30 or so, I think, if I remember correctly. It's interesting, and will Maya be able to handle the pressure, and is the hype around him going to be everything that it's hyped up to be? Because that's a lot of pressure for the man. I can't wait to see. MODOK's not one of my favourite characters to see on the screen, the little egg-headed little chunk, but it'll be interesting to see how he plays, and interesting to see how someone who has never had the chance to interact with Western players, especially the US players, how is that going to pan out? I can't wait. I really hope there's some money matches in the background with like Maya versus Mothman, the two most prominent MODOKs in the world. That'd be sick. And also, a little bit of controversy. People was talking about Cosmos. Cosmos apparently less travelled. I can't speak for him. All I know is Cosmos is absolutely wicked strong at the game. Last time I played him in TNS, it was the freest 3-0 of his life. Couldn't do a single thing against him. Disgustingly good player. However, a lot of players arguing that he doesn't have the national results, doesn't have the results at majors, stays mostly within New York. I believe he did win the most recent TNS season outright. It's puts him in good standing, but I think Cosmos has been seeded above Chris G. I think he's seeded pretty much like 4th in the tournament, something ridiculous like that, over all of the top players who surround him. I mean, he very much is capable of coming 4th in this tournament. Could win it, could win the whole thing. The guy's fantastic at the game, but will the tournament pedigree of players like Chris G, of players like Jay Wong, will those players be too much for him to handle? Who knows? And will the recent tournament results of Jabril, Liberal Terminator, those types of things, can he overcome that? So there's a little bit of seeding things. Maybe some things will get changed around. A lot of the European players, we played in a European TNS EVO qualifier. So we had an EVO qualifier for the EU guys. That's how I managed to get my flights out there and the tickets, entry, hotel. Much thanks to the TNS guys and for EVO for helping me out. Absolutely awesome. As well as, of course, the fundraiser that a lot of you donated to, which again, I'm eternally grateful for you all, because that's helped One Up Miles get out there, and Doppelghost, and a few other EU players have also jumped on the bandwagon. We've got a lot of EU players going out, something like 7 or 8 of us, and we've all been seeded very, very fairly, very, very, very fairly. Yours truly, I'm seed 25, which 1,352 players, and I'm seed 25. What? I suppose it doesn't matter where I am, as long as the seed, is relative to keeping me separate from EU players, and also keeping me in some relative stance. As long as it's sort of like you got 2 killers per pool, 64 pools, 128 killers. If that was the name, you got 2 killers per pool. That's fair. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. The seeding beyond that, it is what it is. Personally, I think maybe I'm a little bit high for someone who's, like I say, it's my first major of any category within the US, and I'm so excited, and I wish I'd been able to travel to US majors in previous years. I really wish. I think with a number of major appearances, I think I could have made some waves, baby. But it is what it is. Money is what it is. Travel, that's the thing. So, without further ado, predictions for it then, for EVO. The old gods. So your old gods, it was said, wasn't it, that the 5 old gods were Chris G, Filipino Champ, Justin Wong, KBR, and Flocker. I believe Flocker was the 5th one, wasn't he? My memory's terrible, isn't it? It's shocking. But you got those 5 players. Old gods, I think Chris G and KBR, of those players, are the 2 most likely to perform. I think it's a shame that Filipino Champ, whatever you think of the guy, whatever the case, there's no denying that he's an excellent Marvel player. He did have that little bit of a Marvel resurgence recently. It wasn't too long ago, was it? Last year sometime, and then he sort of fell off again, dipped off that. I thought he'd definitely be entering this. He is at EVO, but he's not entered Marvel, which is a shame for the competition. It would have been nice if it was 1,353 players and he was one of them. However, Chris G, I don't think in any bracket you can ever count Chris G out. Over the years, Chris G has been dominant. There's no question in my mind that Chris G is the greatest Marvel 3 character player to ever play the game. His record is a testament to his skill and his nerve and ultimately his fundamentals. His fundamentals are beyond any other player of the game, I think. There's no one else in this game who I would point to look at to say that person has better fundamentals for Marvel than Chris G. I think a close second on that board is Justin Wong. Justin Wong's performance with a team that is not top tier by any means shows that his fundamentals are absolutely insane. His Marvel pedigree is just primo. But Justin Wong, don't think he's been playing, don't think he's going to have practiced for this properly. He's got a lot of things on his mind. Who knows what work Justin Wong can come in. I could see Justin Wong getting top 6, but recent performances over the years where he's entered Marvel tournaments, he's not beaten the newer players who are coming up. He's not. And Chris G has beaten some of those players, and Chris G has performed and made grand finals and won tournaments throughout the more recent couple of years. He is bold, confident, and the team, obviously he's defined Marvel over the years. KBR, however, have you seen KBR? He's been on a pilgrimage. KBR has travelled around the world. He's been stopping on people's bathroom floors. He's been in sleeping bags on the porches. He's been doing the World Warrior thing. He's a real Ryu in the world, isn't he? Throwing Hadokens and DPs. And he's been all over the place. He's been to Japan. He's been in the US, and he's been spending months playing the best players. You've seen recent sets with Ray, people at Ray's house, over at tournaments on the East Coast. I think has he been to the West Coast as well? He's all over the place. I don't know, but KBR, I don't think you can count a team like KBR and a player like KBR out of a tournament this big. KBR's team is a scrub killer, so he'll have no trouble getting through pools. I really don't think that anyone's knocking KBR out before top 48. So I think he's definitely a shoo-in for 48, top 48, and I think in a first to 3 format, KBR, I really want to say he's going to make top 6. He's one of the players where if you don't know how to handle Hulk, not saying I do, but if you don't know how to handle Hulk, a lot of players are just going to be free to it. It's going to be so hard to deal with. He's so aggressive and his mix-ups are so potent that you must be ready. And if you're not, you are getting washed 3-0. It's absolutely bonkers. He's fearless and he's driven. It's absolutely nuts. Justin, I've already talked about. Flocker, the other of the gods. Flocker, very good, and he's been active throughout the Parsec era. I don't know if he's training as hard as maybe he did for back when he won EVO. Or did he win 2013? I can't remember which one he won. But you know the caliber of player, and it's a zero Virgil team with Hawkeye. The interesting thing about him is a lot of teams have Doom on them, and a lot of teams end up with Doom last as the final character, because if you manage to kill Virgil, you might have done it by counter X Factoring, by spending all your resources to stop this sort of like, if it's zero Doom Virgil, you end up fighting Virgil with Doom in the back, X Factor and Devil Trigger, and if you survive, it's very often a fight versus Doom. Flocker having Hawkeye in the back is a blessing in a lot of tournament sets, because if it comes down to you've killed Zero and you've killed Virgil on a Zero Doom Virgil team, well, they might have killed Zero and Virgil on Flocker's team, and suddenly you've got Doom versus Hawkeye. Very good matchup for Hawkeye. You have to make a big guess and win a neutral versus Hawkeye to get in and to stop yourself from being absolutely murdered by Hawkeye. And he's one of the best Hawkeyes in the biz. So I could see him very easily making himself his way. My prediction for Flocker is maybe somewhere close to top 6. I don't think that he'll get top 6. I'd be very happy to be surprised. By all accounts, I think Flocker's a really nice guy, but who knows where he's going to place. Anyway, those are the old gods. Coming up, though, we've got the new era, though, and I mean, we're talking a lot of players. We're talking a lot of players in this Parsec era. I could name 30 players in this Parsec era who I'm quite like scared of. Players who were good in the old days maybe and have now reached peak status, and players who maybe weren't around in the old days, like Liberal Terminator. He's only been to 4 majors. He said on Twitter the other day he's been to 4 majors. He's won 2 of them. He's got a 50% track record at majors. It's absolutely mind-blowing. The whole thing is boggling to me. So Liberal Terminator, he's just come out of that win on Danger Room. He's won 2 majors. He beat Jabril, and Jabril is the other guy. The other guy, if you're looking for 2 players to look at for EVO, those 2 players, I kind of feel like I can't see them not getting top 2. I can't see them not getting top 6. And that they could potentially make grand finals together. It could be those 2. It's absolutely nuts. And I think potentially there is a money match between the old gods, like the old era and the new era. And I think the new era is going to take that, and I think the new era is going to place overall better than the old era. Personally, I think that's the case. A lot more tech has been developed, and fundamentals, yes, are essential, but some of the tech being developed, like some of the soul drain loops that people are hitting with Morrigan these days. Have you seen Cosmos's play? Full screens, Jason Game Dev? Like, that's where Chris G is not as optimal, and fundamentals are everything, but at the same time, what if your fundamentals don't matter because the game is developed to a point where you don't have to play as fundamentally sound a game? They matter when you've lost your X Factor and the game comes down to, do you get that throw or do you not get that throw in a dangerous situation? Is your defense fundamentally sound enough? But a lot of these teams these days, you get one hit and it's lights out. Everybody's playing games like it's cinematics. It's zero games. It's absolutely bonkers. You've got obviously this mix of players who've carried on playing forever, who were part of the old era and have continued through to Parsec. You've got your Ray Rays, who's been playing and practicing offline and online. He's been to every major. He's all over the place. Ray Ray's so good. I can't really categorize him as something like that. I can't really call him a surprise pick, but I'll get to that in just a sec. But you got players like Ray Ray, Mundank, Coach Steve. There's so many players, and again, I'm not categorizing them as new era, but like the difference between what was the old winners versus who's going to be the newest winners. Boy, I don't know. I can maybe say that I'm only confident about 2 players in that top 6, and personally, I think it's going to be Liberal Terminator and Jabril. I think that Chris G's not even a shoe-in for top 6. It's absolutely nuts. I'm flip-flopping all over the place with this. I'm in 2 minds about who's gonna make that top 6. Absolutely not bonkers. And there might be surprise picks. There's always, in a top 6 like this, I think there's going to be 2 surprise picks getting in there, and it might be a Japan-based player. It might be someone that just has an absolutely amazing Saturday it just plays balls to the walls, absolutely insane. It could be a Dead X Pride, it could be a Mundank, it could be anybody, it could be Inside, it could be name a player. I mean, even then, like, I just the name Noel Bryan came to me. He's not really a surprise pick the way he's playing right now, and with the way that his team is playing, the way he plays it is so distinct from the way that other players have played Dormammu with Doom. Like, Dorm Missiles, there's only really been an F champ who played Dorm Missiles in my memory, and Missiles, I've always said that Missiles is the best assist for Dorm overall. Personally, not an assist that I gel with that well. I do love it for zoning, but Noel takes that zoning to a different level. Like, that zoning is absolutely nuts. Very different Dormammu to mine. So it could be so many different players. It could be Jewel Kevin. It could be Flux. So many people. And then me. Where am I going to place in all of this? Like, I've got a dream, and the dream would be to make that top 6. It would be to play the best players in the world. I've wanted to play the best players in the world offline in tournament for, well, I've been playing Marvel since Ultimate came out. I didn't play Vanilla. Started playing Ultimate and fell in love with the game. And I was in uni at the time. I think I was in my 3rd year of uni, and then I got a job, but I had a girlfriend, and that became like responsibilities, and, you know, we had rent to pay, and we got a dog, had a baby, and changed careers. The money's just not been there to travel internationally. I would have loved to have played. I've been dreaming of it for years. So I want to play to the best of my ability. I understand going in, the chances of me doing well are so remote. And for me, I set a really high goal for myself personally. I don't see the point in trying to go to EVO to do anything other than win. That's my goal. That's my goal. I want to do as best as I possibly can do, obviously, and I have realistic sort of like tempering of my expectations there, because I know that these players are not these players are not the same players that I play week in, week out. And that, no offense to some of the best friends I've ever made through these fighting games, but these players are of a different level. These players absolutely bonkers, and I want to do my best, and I'll do everything I can to play the best I possibly can do. I kind of see myself getting to top 46 if I'm trying to be realistic, but I'm going to try my best to snatch every victory I can from every player who's playing against me. And I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that on that day I'm playing my best and I'm feeling my best, and I'm going to go down with the biggest fight I possibly can do. Realistically, I fear no player. I don't feel like I can sit down against any player and not take a victory 3-0. I feel like any player in the world, I can take a 3-0 victory. 3-2 if I must claw a victory that way. The problem is, there's... How many wins did I say you need to get to top 6? Is it 9 straight wins? 7 of those will be killers. Can I beat 7 killers in a row? Any one tournament set, I'm confident that I can win. 7 in a row against a consistent level of play, maybe getting better each round, maybe a variety of matchups, some better against my team, some worse. Maybe I've got to switch teams, who knows? It's absolutely ridiculous, but we'll see what happens. I can't wait to find out. Hopefully I'll make a splash. If not, well, there's always salty sweets and money matches, who knows? And that's it for this video. I'm really excited for EVO. Like I say, I fly out next Wednesday. What's today? Thursday. So I'll fly out in 6 days. It's going to be a long journey to get there all the way to the West Coast from here. It's something like, I've got a big layover in London, and then I've got a big flight all the way to Vegas from Heathrow. So it's going to be a lot of travel. I'm going to get food in. I'm looking forward to meeting the people, meeting these players who I've, had little spats with, little chats with, played in TNS, and it's just going to be the best time. It's us EU boys. We're going to do the best we can, represent the EU as well as we can. I'm really hoping that some of my EU compadres can make a big performance so well. Like my training partner, Demon Phoenix. My other training partner, Shuffle, couldn't make it, but DP, I really hope that he absolutely robs some people. His teams are all skank as fuck, and he's really, really fundamentally sound. He just needs to perform. And then we've got one at Miles. Miles he's been very good for a long time. I'm so happy that he's back to play. One of the EU's best players for Marvel since about 2014. I'd say he's always been one of the best EU players, but he's been the best since about 2014. Obviously, I'm the best now. I did win TNS EU. I won UG's Untamed Gaming Season 1. I won TNSEU, the second one. And I've just last night won the second Untamed Gaming series. So obviously I am the best. There's no doubt about it, I'm the best. Let me just say that again. I'm the best. But Miles is so good. He's of comparable level and playing such a strong team. And he's wily and clever. He's so good. And then, you know, we've got Esla, we've got Sheep, Tales of Mystery. I could see Tales of Mystery making top 6. He's that wild. Like, you've got Frankie G over in the States. We've got Tales of Mr. E. Like, if you've got a letter in your name, you're wild. You're just a mad player. Vlafaris, Lythero's coming. Oh man, I can't wait to see Lythero play. If you put Lythero on stream, the hype's going to be real. It's just absolutely nuts. So we got a lot of good EU players. Again, forgive me if I've just forgotten somebody. My brain is just... but we're going to try and make the biggest splash we can. We promise to you that we'll do the best we possibly can and try and take down some of these big names. If I can upset some people and make them feel something deep in their heart, like they've been crushed by an enormous weight, maybe some tears rolling down the cheek, that would be lovely. Otherwise, just joking. All the respect to the players that are going out. It's going to be a blast. We're going to get some food in, going to play some games, hopefully make it to some salty sweets, and yeah, it's just going to be... It's the dream for me to make it out to a Marvel major, and the fact that it's this one is absolutely insane. So that's it from me today. I'm going to be prepping. I'm going to be doing some streams before EVO, and I'm going to be trying to prep myself as best as I possibly can so I'm in the best fighting shape for when EVO comes around, so I can make all you proud, make Tong proud, all the TNS guys who have helped send me out, and do everybody over in the EU the justice that our scene demands. That's it. I'll be back with you soon with more Marvel. I think my next video is going to be a little bit one focused on Dorm, TAC Infinites, I think. Don't count me on that, but that's the plan. Otherwise, that's it for today. Peace.